Alright, so I've been having this issue with my dump truck. When I first started up and go to drive it, I press the brakes, my right rear tire or brake locks up on me. It's leaving skid marks usually everywhere I start and stop. So we're gonna dive in that today. I already got the wheel off, and now we just gotta pull all 8 bolts out of here. This removes the whole hub and the drum. Then we'll be able to see the brake pads or the brake shoes, and also see if the seal for the hub has gone bad. Sometimes if the seal has gone bad, the oil will get out inside here, and the oil getting on the pads or the brake shoes actually will cause the brakes to actually lock up, whereas, you know, usually you'd think it'd make it, you know, more slippery, but it has the opposite effect. It gets absorbed into those shoes and causes the shoes to stick to the actual drum when they're applied. So we'll check to make sure the seal's good. I have a brand new seal if that is bad, because I've already changed the one on the other side, and I also have brand new shoes that we can change. I think that's part of my problem. I changed the shoes on the other side and the seal on the other side, and I never got around to changing on this side, so it's probably pretty far out of adjustment. So I'm hoping it's a pretty easy fix, but let's get started. So on these style trucks, you actually have to pull the rear axle shaft out before you can release the retention. There's like a retaining nut in here that we'll have to hit out once I pull this axle shaft all the way out, and then once we get out this retention nut with this spring clip, we'll be able to pull the whole hub off and take a deeper look at it. You just need like a small flathead screwdriver. Basically just pull this ring clip out of here. Nothing special, it's a little piece of metal. And there's a little tiny keyway in there that's got to come out. Typically I use a magnet for that, the pressure off of it. Then it slides right out. So we'll leave that right on the magnet. And alright, righty tighty, lefty loosey. So need it to go counterclockwise. Here's the retaining nut. You can see, I'm just putting my finger in one of these indents, spinning it around, and then once it's loose enough, it comes right out of there. Set that to the side. Alright, now that we got it off, you can kind of just take a overall look. I mean, it's obviously pretty dirty. We got brake dust. Looks like there's a lot of fibers from the brake shoes in here. Overall, the shoes themselves don't look too bad. It looks like there is a little bit of oily substance in here, so I just want to check. See, now this was kind of my worry. I was afraid that this sleeve cylinder or wheel cylinder was going to be leaking, and I think that's exactly what is the case here.
was pushing this before, it was getting really wet. You can see how wet it is. Alright, so now to get the actual slave cylinder off, you gotta come to the back side, and you'll see this here is your brake line, and above it's your brake bleeder, and then to the sides of the bleeder are 2 bolts. You're gonna need to remove those 2 bolts, and remove the brake line. When you remove the brake line, you're gonna get brake fluid out. It's gonna put air in the system, so once we change this, put it all back together, we will have to bleed the brakes again. But unfortunately, to fix this, we got to take it apart now. So let me get the right tools and let's get started. Now, normally when it comes to removing these brake lines, they're pretty hard to get off without breaking. Fortunately for me, I installed these brake lines when I got the dump truck about, I don't know, 1.5 years, 2 years ago. Every single brake line was replaced on this truck because they all had rotted out. So fortunately for me, I know I shouldn't run into any issues as far as the line breaking or it being hard to get off. But in the event that you're working on your truck from '81 and the lines have never been replaced, you can pretty much just guarantee, like, you'll be replacing the whole line because it'll be rotted and seized together, rusted together, and there will definitely be some curse words said in the process of trying to get this off. I forgot to videotape putting this back together, but basically what I did was all brand new pads here, brand new wheel cylinder. I cleaned up the little push rods on both sides. Then down here, I went and bought a brand new adjuster. I was trying to get this old one to work, but it seized. Somehow on the other side of the truck, when I worked on that, you know, months ago, I was able to free that one up, but this one's just seen better days. So I got the new adjuster there, and I just put this brand new seal in since I was already here. Believe it or not, I really wish I videotaped this. Easiest I've ever done before. I literally just used this 4x6 and it put it down there in the perfect spot. It is, you know, perfectly flush all the way around. Sweet. All right, we're good to go. Let's get the wheel back on there. All right, well, I know I missed videotaping some of that, but at least that was a general gist of it. We got it all back together. We still got to bleed the brakes before I drive it. Many of you probably don't know, but I had a big oopsie with this truck before it had brakes. Drove it right through my house wall, so that was a big learning experience. I now know never to drive this truck without brakes, or any vehicle for that matter. So I gotta bleed the brakes, get that all set up, and then we're gonna do a service on the rear differential. Time to change the gear oil in there and see what that looks like in there. So